Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video, we are going to be talking about how to find profitable keywords for your Etsy listings. So if you find yourself struggling when it comes to SEO, driving traffic back to your store, or just understanding what types of keywords you should be choosing, this video is for you because I'm going to give you the breakdown of what exactly I do when I do keyword research. So make sure that you watch all the way till the end. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel and you want to grow an impactful Etsy business, don't forget to subscribe today. I do upload weekly videos to help you build an impactful online business. So don't forget to subscribe today, to show me some love by liking this video, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to talk about everything that I currently do, and hopefully this will help you to kind of start doing your research and thinking about how the target customer thinks, how your audience thinks, basically. So the first thing you're going to do whenever you're about to create a new listing on Etsy and you're about to put a new product on Etsy, the first thing you should be doing is brainstorming ideas, brainstorming keywords or phrases that describes what you're actually selling. It's okay to use Longtail Keywords. You want to make sure that you use keywords that your target audience will be searching for. You want to stay away from keywords that are too broad. You want to stay away from keywords that are too competitive. And you don't want to use your store name as a keyword unless you are very popular or you already are a brand. So just keep those things in mind. And I'll go over each one in detail to kind of break it down for you guys. But the first thing you want to do is, if you're going to be selling, let's say you're selling a wedding sign that has, it's a wedding sign for weddings. You create wedding signs and it has flowers and it's like an elegant wedding white sign. Let's say that's just the details of the actual product. So first thing you want to do is create a list of at least 10 words that you think, okay, so when a customer is searching, when my ideal target customer is searching for this particular item, this wedding sign, how would they type that in the search results, right? How would they type that in? So if you're buying a wedding sign, right, the most obvious reason is wedding sign. That would be one word that I as a target customer would, be looking for if I was buying a wedding sign. So that's one keyword you could write down. From there, think about how it looks, right? You could describe it. It has white flowers, right? So you could say wedding signs with white flowers or wedding signs, white flowers. That's another keyword. You could particularly think that somebody's searching for the wedding sign. If they needed the color white, because that's what they need for the wedding to match specifically, they're going to type in white, because I would type in white. So that's another potential keyword. And you kind of want to do that and kind of write out 10 keywords that you think as a customer, what they would search. You don't want to write a keyword that is too broad, meaning wedding. Wedding could be pretty much anything. You could sell so many things for weddings. It's too broad of a keyword. So therefore, you're competing. If your store is all about signs and wedding invites and wedding cards, now you're competing with people that create wedding jewelry. You're competing with people that create wedding dresses because they might be using the word wedding. Now you're competing with people that do wedding cake toppers, right? So you don't want to go too broad. When you go too broad, you end up showing your listings to a lot of people. So you get more impressions, more visibility. The downside of it is that you get a lot of views, maybe a couple clicks, but most likely you won't get any sales because you're showing your products to the wrong people. You might get an occasional sale here and there, but it's not what you really want, which is sales on a regular basis so you could grow as a business. So choosing words that are too broad, that's when you get a lot of views, a lot of impressions, but no sales. This is why many people say, well, I get a lot of views, I get a lot of impressions, or even maybe a lot of favorites, but not too many people are buying. Why are people not buying? That's the reason why. You're too broad. So you're showing your products to tons of people, But a lot of these people are not specifically looking for what you sell at that current moment. So just keep that in mind. Broad words are not always the best to use. Now, the reason why you want to stay away from competitive keywords is because if you use a keyword that's very competitive, even if it remotely or perfectly describes what you sell, the chances of you landing on the first page of Etsy organically is going to be very, very hard, because if there's over 50,000 other people using that keyword or more, most likely, unless you became a bestseller, most likely your listing might get buried in the search results, unfortunately. The only time that your listing might pop up in the first page of Etsy or the second, if it becomes a bestseller. In that case, then you could keep the competitive keyword. But if that listing doesn't get the traction it needs in order to become a bestseller, that listing will be buried in the search results, and therefore no one's going to really see that listing. And if you were to run an Etsy ad, your cost per click is going to be very high. The reason why it's going to be higher is because, guys, always keep in mind, whenever you do any type of sell, whether it's on, or any type of advertising, whether it's on Etsy or Facebook or Instagram, or Pinterest or Google AdWords or PPC, wherever you go and do ads on, whenever you try to use keywords that are very competitive that a lot of people are using, your cost per bid is going to be higher. It's always going to be high. If you use keywords that not too many people are using, your cost per click is going to be lower. But if you use keywords that everybody wants to use as well, your cost per click is going to be high. So what's going to happen now is that if you set a budget of, let's say, $5 a day on ads, your budget is going to be spent. And this is why a lot of people with the new Etsy ad system now, that you're not able to adjust your bid, this is the main reason why many people say, well, I'm running through my budget every day. I'm not making the sales. I don't understand this. That's the reason why, because you're using keywords that are too competitive. Too many people are using. Your cost per click is very, very high. So within a couple clicks, you already spent your whole entire budget and you didn't make any money. That's the reason why. So competitive keywords do have those two negative impacts on your Etsy listing. Basically, your cost per click is higher, and the chances of you ranking organically for that keyword is probably almost impossible as well. So just keep that in mind. Now, the reason why I put don't use your store name as a tag is because this is one of the main things that I see many Etsy sellers do. They put their store name as a tag, but if no one is really looking for your store and you're not known yet, you shouldn't do that, because that's a waste of space. You're wasting a space that you could use, right, for your actual listing. So until you become a popular brand and people actually start searching for your name on Etsy, that's when you actually use your name, your store name, as a keyword. Now, if you want to do research and see if anybody's looking for your name, all you have to do pretty much is, if you go to Erank and you go to Keyword Research Tool and you put in your shop name, you'll be able to see if people are actually searching for your shop name. It'll say your shop name, it'll say 0 if no one's searching for your shop name, or it'll say 100 people a month search for your shop name. If you have any type of traction that people are actually searching, then by all means use your store name as a keyword. If no one is searching for your store, do not use it, because it's a waste of space. You could use it in your hashtags and social media for branding purposes, but do not use it on Etsy as a tag, because that's a wasted tag. So I just wanted to clear the air on that. Now that we have kind of gone through all these bullet points, the last one I wanted to talk about is long-tail keywords. Long-tail keywords are really, really great, because long-tail keywords usually have a lower search volume and lower competition. But even though you'll get less views with these keywords, you get more quality people. If you were to use the word, let's say you sell shoes, and you were to use the word shoes or running, well, let's say shoes by themselves, that's very competitive keyword. And when you look up the word shoes, or you do a research or do a search on Etsy for shoes, you're going to find all types of shoes, sandals, running shoes. You're going to find high heels, kids shoes, etc. But if I'm searching for women's running shoes and I type in the word shoes, I'm going to get everything and anything. But if I type in, let's say, running shoes, now I'm going to get men and women's shoes. So I don't want that. And even children's shoes. I want to be very specific because I'm shopping with an intent to buy. So I'm going to type in women's running shoes. Now, when I type that in, that's a long tail keyword. If it's two keywords or more combined, and that's going to make me buy with an intent, right? This type of buyer that specifically types in white wedding sign or pink flower sign, they're looking for something very, very specific, and most likely they're going to buy. That's the type of customers that you want. So long-tail keywords help you find the ideal customer that's looking for your products or services. And this is why it's really important that when you're doing your keyword research and you find keywords, that you have a combination of regular keywords, but you also include long-tail keywords also. They do give you less search volume per month, but keep in mind the quality of people are better. So you're going to get more sales with those type of keywords because these are people that are searching with an intent to buy. So technically, when you guys are doing keyword research, all you want to do is you want to sit down, you want to look at whatever you're selling, and you want to write 10 keywords or phrases that describes exactly what you're selling. So like I said earlier, if you're selling a wedding sign that has white flowers, you will write that down. From there, once you have 10 keywords that describes what you sell, don't put wedding, don't put wedding decor. Yes, that's a good keyword. However, if you could be more specific, the more specific you get, the better it will be. And try to think about phrases and words that people would use, but don't keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. Try to use different wording. Once you get those 10 keywords or phrases or combination of both, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Erank and you're going to go to keyword tool and you're going to type in each keyword and you're going to do additional keyword research. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's go ahead. Okay, so here we are. I'm using Erank to do keyword research. You could use Erank or you could use Marmalade. Either one is really good, to be honest with you. The main reason why you want to use either Erank or Marmalade is because they pull directly from Xy's data, versus if you use like Google Keyword Planner, that pulls the data from Google. So you want to be very specific with your keywords. When you go to Erank, all you would do is once you're logged in into your account, you will go to Tools and you will go to Keyword Explorer. Now from here, all you have to do technically is type in the keyword, the first keyword that came in your mind that describes your product or service. So let's say the first one was that we talked about earlier was wedding signs. So this is from the list that you just created. So from here, I'm going to type in wedding signs. I'm going to do a search. And it's going to look up the top keywords that people are using on Etsy based on how many people search for these keywords, in other words. So it's going to give you a graph. It's going to tell you the search trend. It's going to give you weekly searches. It's going to show you like Etsy summary, like the average monthly search, the competition, the click-through rate, and also the clicks, which is really, really important to start analyzing. And it's also going to give you other market shares where you sell products as well. Obviously, this is pulling more from data for Etsy, but also shows you the competition, which is really, really nice. So this is what we're going to be looking at. So I typed in the word wedding signs, and this is all the information. These are all the different types of keywords that are similar or relevant to wedding signs. The two most important parts, these are important as well, but to me, the two most important part is how many times people search for this keyword and the competition. Because even if a lot of people are searching for the keyword, if there's more competition, it's not worth me using that keyword because like I said earlier, organically, I'm not going to rank organically. and it's going to be too many people using it. So even if I did run an Etsy ad, my cost per click is going to be ridiculous. So is it even worth using? So that's what you want to do. So this stops at 50,100 listings. If you want to know specifically how many listings have this keyword, all you have to do is go to Etsy.com, search for wedding signs, and it's going to tell you how many people are using that keyword. Right now, there's 354,000 other people using it. That's crazy. So even though 12,000 people do monthly searches on it, you're competing with 5 times more than that, right? 354,000 people are using that keyword in their actual listing. So it's going to be very competitive for you to compete with that many people. So this one, it wouldn't be a good keyword, even though it's green here. It looks like average clicks are really good per month. Even the click-through rate is pretty good, 44%. But this is what's killing it. It's so many people using it. So therefore, it's going to be really, really hard for you to rank for that keyword. Now, you got to keep going through this listing and say, okay, which one of these go with what I actually sell? If your sign is not a wedding share sign, don't use this keyword. Because even if people find the listing, because it's not used for a wedding, for like an actual chair, people are not going to buy. And the downside of using keywords that don't describe what you sell is that you'll get low conversions from Etsy. So if a lot of people look at your listing and no one's buying from you, no one's clicking and buying, what happens now is that Etsy gives your listing a listing score. And this is mentioned in their Etsy Seller's Handbook. The listing score, basically what that means is that if no one's interacting with that listing, either it's going to become, let's say a lot of people are interacting, it's going to become a bestseller. If no one is buying, it's going to get buried in the search results. And what happens with that is that if it gets buried in the search results and you're using a keyword that's very competitive, barely anyone is ever going to see that keyword. And it affects your conversion rates. And this is why it's so important to only use keywords or words or phrases that describes what you sell in order to avoid a lower listing score. Just keep that in mind. It's really, really important. Don't just use a keyword thinking, oh, I'll use that one because it's still good, if it doesn't describe what you actually sell. So something like this, if I'm selling a wedding sign that's just a regular wedding sign, I wouldn't use this one. If my wedding sign doesn't have wood, I wouldn't use that one. Now, I do sell printable wedding signs. So this one is a good one here. So what I would do is I would think, okay, this is a good keyword for me, but let's look at the numbers, right? Average monthly searches is good because I always try to stick with 500 and up. But this is the issue, the competition. If it's over 30,000 in competition, I do not use anymore. I used to before, and it's not worth it now with the Etsy ads. If I look up wedding signs printable, look at how many people are actually using that listing, or not that listing, that tag. 116,000 people. So it's pretty high. It's not going to be a good one for me. So even though it describes exactly what I sell, it doesn't work because of the competition. So sometimes you're going to find those keywords that you're like, wow, this is a great keyword. But you're going to find keywords that either no one's searching for or keywords that everybody is using. So therefore it becomes too competitive. So you got to keep playing and playing. It's a tedious thing when you're doing SEO because of the fact that when you sell stuff that's very similar to other people, especially like weddings and birthday events, that's one of the top categories to sell on Etsy, it becomes redundant because now so many people using the same tags, it becomes a little bit hard to find keywords. My biggest advice is, one, to do the research like we're doing now. And second is, don't depend only on Etsy to bring you traffic. So don't just depend on Etsy alone. Once you get your store established, you have listings up, you feel, you have everything done, like your banner, your logo, you've completely done your store, I suggest using Pinterest. I have a Pinterest course. If you're interested in taking it, I will leave the link below. But I highly suggest doing Pinterest to drive traffic back to your store. I do all of them. You could post on Facebook, you could post on Instagram. I do think as a brand, you should have every major platform, but you should focus your most energy on Pinterest. Pinterest will drive ridiculous amount of traffic back to your store. So you don't want to rely just on Etsy to bring you the traffic. Just keep that in mind. You need another source, whether it's your own Facebook group, whether you have a YouTube channel, whatever you are doing. But if you are starting in social media and you have no idea where to begin, my biggest advice would be Pinterest. It's really, really great for Etsy sellers, do-it-yourself crafts, etc. So I highly recommend it. And you would just have to go through all of these and kind of look at them and see, okay, so this one is a custom wedding sign wood. If I did custom wedding signs in wood, this is a perfect keyword. It's not my 500 that I normally use, but I would still use it because it's really close. Also, keep in mind, wedding season is down right now, right? Because it's Christmas season right now. It's the holidays. So this number is going to skyrocket probably in a couple months from now. So like March, when wedding season starts again, this number is going to be higher. This is the reason why if you do sell on seasonal, you always have to check your tags like every 3 months and keep track of what you're using. And if you need to do any changes, do them. Only because through seasons, you're going to see higher peaks and lower peaks. So just keep that in mind. It's something good to always check the performance of those keywords. See the keywords that you're currently using, how they are now compared to March. And if in March is very competitive, changing them again. Keeping them now that's lower so you could get some traction. March comes, you might have to change them. So just keep that in mind. So this one will be a good one if I sold wood, but because I don't, I will have to continue looking through here. And this is just what I do on my listings. Now, if I go more down, these listings are getting lower and lower. As you can see, is getting very low search volume. Unknown, meaning not too many people are using. So these wouldn't be good keywords in the bottom. I will have to stick with these. If none of these work, let's say this was my first keyword that I typed in and it didn't work, I will go to the next keyword. The next one was wedding sign, wedding flower, white flower sign. So this is just me describing my sign. It's white, it has flowers, and it's a wedding sign. So I'm going to do another research to see what keywords populate for me to kind of give me more ideas of keywords that I can use. So from here, I would just look. This is the ideas that it gave me. Sometimes the way that you write it up here, it does have an effect on what you get right here. So let's say I change this to wedding sign, flower, wedding sign. Let's type that in better. And let's do a new research. So it's auto, it's searching the database to see what comes up. And it's still searching. So we just got to give it a few seconds. And let's see what comes up. So it kind of looks like the same from earlier. It really didn't change. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just got to keep playing with it. So I got the same one as earlier, wedding signs. It gave me the words broken down. I'm not trying to look it up broken down. I want it together. This will be too broad, and the search is very, very low. Welcome sign. No, that's too. See, all of these are too low. So I wouldn't even waste my time with that. So I'm going to go to the next keyword. So let me type in wedding, flower. I don't know if I did this one already. sign. Let's type in that one and let's do a research. And let's see what the database comes up with. Let's see, did it auto-populate anything? It looks like it's still processing. So let's see what comes up. Okay, so here we go. So I'm not typing in keywords that are too popular right now. So yeah, these are the same like earlier. So I will move on, and now I will put white wedding sign, right? Because my sign is a wedding sign and it is white because it has like the white flowers. Let's see if anything comes up. And literally this is what you have to do. You're going to take every single keyword that you wrote down and you're going to do a research on it, and you're going to see what comes up. If you get stuck, let's say, you don't have a lot of keywords that you came up with, I'll show you another strategy that you could start using. So wedding, welcome sign, white rose, it doesn't have a lot of competition, but then the search volume is very low, so that one wouldn't be good. What you could do is you could come up here and you could put white wedding, see, and it gives you ideas. So white wedding signs. Let me put sign. Let me put wedding sign to see what comes up. So wedding signs in wood, bundle, template, printable, again, another one. That was the one from earlier. So mine, it is a template that people buy and they edit themselves. So that might be a good one. So that gave me an idea for another keyword, right? So I'm going to put wedding sign template, right? I'm going to do a search and let's see what happens now. And this is kind of another way to kind of think of different ways, because if you wrote the list first and you only got, let's say, 5 keywords and you couldn't think of anything else, you could play with this and type in wedding sign and see what comes up and be like, oh, my wedding sign, it is a bundle. It's like 5 of them together. So boom, that's one. Or wedding signage. That's another terminology that maybe you didn't come up with at the moment when you were brainstorming. But that's going to help you come up with additional keywords that you could do research on to see if there are some good profitable keywords for you. So this one gave me a little bit more at least. So wedding welcome sign. So this one, even though it's not 30,000, I will actually use this one because the click-through rate is pretty high. The average clicks is really good. The average monthly search is pretty high. So this one will be a doable for me. So this one will be one that I would use. So I will use this one here. This one is wedding welcome sign, and this one is kind of like twisted welcome wedding sign. You got to be careful with keywords like this. The reason why is because they're kind of like very similar. This is the way that many people search for it, and this is the way that other people search. You see 5,000 people search it this way. It's the same wording. It's just that this one says welcome wedding and this one says welcome wedding sign. I mean, wedding welcome sign, and this one says welcome wedding sign. So it's the words are switched around. But you don't want to use redundant keywords. You could type this one in your maybe section of keywords that you might use, but you do not want to repeat the same keywords over, because the algorithm is smart enough to understand that when somebody types in this keyword and you have this one, it will show this one as well. So you're almost losing a space. So you want to just use a different type of keyword. Like if your wedding sign happens to have a hashtag on it, like those wedding signs that says, use our hashtag for your pictures, then this one will be a good one too. The competition is not a lot, so you could rank organically. And the monthly search is pretty good, 1,200. That's a really nice number for that competition. Average clicks are pretty good, and then even the click-through rate is pretty good. So this is another good one. And technically, this is what you will have to do. This one is a good one for mine. Wedding welcome sign template, because mine is a template and it is a welcome sign. So using this strategy, I found 3 additional keywords that I could use on my listing. That 1, I could rank organically. 2, If I do an XC ad, my cost per click wouldn't be as high. And the most important, I'm targeting my ideal customer. You want to make sure that you use keywords of what your customer will be searching for. If you sell, a print for a wall, like, for decor, you don't want to just use the word decor by itself. If you use the word decor and you're selling artwork, right, that people could print and put on their wall, decor is pretty much anything. Look at this. Look at all the different things that comes up. Fabric, artwork, these little dishes here, lamps, sign, wedding print, these metal wall decor. So you're getting so many different variations of things. The competition is crazy, right? 13 million. This is a very competitive, broad keyword. So you kind of getting both in this keyword, broad and competitive. Your cost per click will be very, very high. You're not going to rank organically, and you're not going to be targeting your ideal customer. Somebody that types decor, they're probably just shopping. Somebody that types in flamingo pink wall art, they're probably buying a flamingo pink wall art, right? They're being very specific with what they want. You have to get very specific with your keywords in order to find profitable keywords that you will be showing to people that are shopping with an intent to buy. So this is my whole strategy that I use, not only for my freelance clients, but that I use for my own listings. This is the strategy you have to do. And it does take a little bit of work, and it will take you like a day or two to do, at least 10 listings. But at least you'll be finding keywords that are profitable, that will start sending you traffic back to your store from the Etsy search results. And also keep in mind that additional to that, to start using some sort of other platform, whether it is Pinterest or Instagram, whatever you feel more comfortable with, but using another platform to drive additional traffic as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to find profitable keywords. If you have any questions about it, make sure that you leave a comment below. And thank you guys for watching.